Hello all my beautiful sisters from those other misters, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just doing my makeup, but I'm going to do a full face of my Project Pan stuff and I'm going to talk about Project Panning. I've had a few people ask me to do this and I never really thought there was much point in doing it because every time you see me, like my face, if I got makeup on it, it's pretty much 90% Project Pan stuff, if not all Project Pan stuff. So I didn't think there was any point, but people have asked me to do it, so I figured I'd do it. I'm going to start by priming. This is a Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. It's a primer and moisturizer. It's alright. It's, you know, a bit runny, but it's nice and hydrating, which I like. So I thought I would start by talking about what is Project Panning. So if you're not really familiar with it, we can talk about what it is. So essentially Project Panning is taking a bunch of makeup products and using them until you reach a goal on them. Now that goal might be finishing the product completely, it might be hitting pan on the product, it might be a certain amount of uses, or you know, using up a certain amount of product, like half a primer or 20 uses of an eyeshadow palette or something like that. And that kind of goes along with what types of Project Pans there are. I'm going to prime my eyes with the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. I really enjoy this. I always use too much, but that's okay. I will just use too much on the other eye as well. So different types of Project Pans. There are like a full face Project Pan, which is what I do. There's rolling Project Pans, which is where when you use up an item, you swap it out for something in that same category. So say you finish up a foundation, you would then put in another foundation. That is also what I like to do with my Project Pans. There are seasonal Project Pans where you might just pan something like a certain group of products for spring, and then when winter rolls around, you might swap them out. I kind of do that as well, but I find that I mostly like to have like quarterly refreshes so I can get rid of any products that I'm sick of. I don't really do it so I can be swapping stuff out for certain seasons, because I don't know, I like to use makeup that's making me happy at the time. I don't really go for like certain colors in spring or certain colors in winter. Like I just wear what I want to wear. But some people do like to swap out their products seasonally. I'm going to set that primer just between my crease and my brow with this guy. It's the Ulta 3 eyeshadow in Blank Canvas. There's not much left. This is in my eyeshadow project this year. So some other types of Project Pans, people do a Project Pan roulette where essentially they sort of randomize the products that are going to be in their project. They might use like a number generator to choose their products, and then as they use something up, they'll use that number generator again to swap something else in. I've tried that in the past. I'm not really a fan of it. I like to have more control over the products that are in my project, because if I'm not feeling a product, I just won't use it at all, and I don't really like to leave it up to fate. I like to leave it up to what I want to pan. Okay, I'm going to dig into my Urban Decay Naked palette. So this is also in my eyeshadow project this year. I'm going to use the two mattes. Oh, actually, I'll use Naked in my crease, and then I might dip into this guy, the MAC Burgundy ×9 palette, and I might go with this one down here. Let's do something. It's a little bit warm and cool. There are also themed Project Pans, so people might pick a theme, you know, like they will choose you know, maybe Harry Potter themed, and then they have to dig through their makeup and find things that sort of remind them of Harry Potter, and that's what they will pan for a certain amount of time. There's also projects where people will do like, you know, 12 products in December for the 12 days of December and stuff like that. So there's all different types of project pans that people do, and it really just depends on what you like with panning, like what gets you going with panning as to what you would choose or how you would choose to pan your products. So the type of project pan that I do is a full face rolling project pan, and I do it over the course of 12 months. I usually start it in January and end it at the end of December. And I have been panning for 5 years now. So over those 5 years, I've tried a few different methods, and I found that that's just what works best for me. Gold Gaga. This is a product that I have been trying to pan for years, and I love it. It is an Australis Metalix in Gold Gaga. It's just a cream shadow. I really like this as a base, especially if I'm going to put anything shimmery on top of it, because it just adds a little bit of extra sparkle to the eyeshadow, and it's gorgeous. You can use it on its own. You got to put on a really, really thin layer, otherwise it creases. And I'm going to use my Bbia Pigment in 01 because I'm trying to hit my goal on this. I want to swap it out, and I already know what I want to swap it out with, but first I've got to hit my goal on this because I'm determined. I'm going to use a non-project pan product for under eye concealer. I'm kind of struggling to find one that doesn't crease on me or make my under eyes look dry and haggard. This one is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. And on my face, I will use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, which is in my project pan, and I don't like it, but I'm so close to finishing it. I'm determined to keep going. So over the years of project panning, I really have learned what works for me. I know, this color's not right for me. I discovered that the best thing for me to do was to dedicate myself to the cause for a year, choose a full face of products, and just use them. Another thing that I learned is project panning is very difficult. You need dedication. You have to actually have some discipline, and you've got to put in the work. The makeup won't pan itself, essentially. Oh my god, that Urban Decay concealer. Yuck. Yuck. Jesus Christ. If you have any suggestions for concealers that are really good on dry and like crepey skin, I'm taking suggestions because fuck my whole collection right now. Okay, foundation. She's almost done. Covergirl Outlast Active Foundation. I don't love it. I wouldn't repurchase it, but I can use it, so I am using it. Now, if you are just getting into project panning, my advice would be to pick some makeup that you actually like, because if you try to pan products that you hate, you're probably going to have a hard time. Now, I often pan products that I don't like this concealer or this foundation, but I think like the difference is I know how to make them work for me and I can use them, so I do. But I will talk about something. I'll talk about it now. For example, this guy. This is a black core crayon from Linda Hallberg. Now, this smudges on me, and I hate eyeliners, black eyeliners that smudge. So I'm actually not even going to bother trying to pan it. I've had it in the project for a month, and I know that when I do my next update, I'm going to remove it from the project because I don't have time in my life for that. So there are certain things where I will look at something like this foundation, for example, and I think to myself, I don't love that, but I can use it, so I will. but I wouldn't repurchase it. I wouldn't recommend it to people. I don't think it's really that great. I think, you know, there's so many other foundations on the market that people could try out, but I'm still going to pan it because I don't need to throw it in the bin. I can make it work. Powder, this is the Australis Fresh and Flawless powder. Yes, I hit pan, sneak peek for those people who watch my project pan. So when you're starting out, I would just choose products that you genuinely like. You know, maybe it's an affordable powder that you know you'll repurchase once you finish it up, or it might be your favorite foundation that you have like 3 backup bottles of, and then over time you might want to try some products where they're not your favorite. They're not like, you can use it, but you probably wouldn't repurchase it. But when it comes to actually panning products that you hate, like you actually hate them, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't think anyone genuinely does that. I think, you know, you might hear people say in project pan videos, and I'm guilty of this, I hate this product, it's crap, blah, 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 but I'm going to keep panning it. I don't think they actually really hate it. Like, if they really, really, really hate it, it's not going to be in the project. Becca Afterglow palette. So what have we got going on in here? I can't open it. There we go. So I use these 2 shades for bronzing, and I use these 2 for highlighting. I mix them both together. I find doing a full face of products is the easiest because you can pretty much use the products every day. If you go to work 5 days a week and you apply makeup before you go to work, you can use your project pan products 5 times a week. You are going to make such good progress on your products. If you are trying to pan like a bright blue eyeshadow and you only wear bright blue eyeshadow once a month or once a fortnight, it's going to take you a damn long time to pan it. So I think doing like a full face of stuff that you would wear every day is the easiest way to have a successful project pan. I also think it's a good idea to kind of start small. Like maybe if you know that you wear foundation every day and a brow product, maybe just start with a foundation and a brow product. Mark your progress at the start of the month, like, you know, maybe weigh it or mark something on a piece of paper or on the bottle, and then go ahead and use it. And at the end of the month, see how much product you've used. See how far you've come with making progress on that product. It can be a good way to sort of start to get a vibe for what project panning feels like. And I've put too much damn bronzer here. And if you get to that end of the month and you're feeling really good about how you're going with your project pan, keep going with the products. Maybe chuck in something new to see if you can sort of, you know, up the ante, but power through, because that's the hard part about project panning. Like, you actually have to stick to it. If you don't stick to it, nothing's going to get finished. You have to actually use the products. So find the dedication and stick to it. Liner and mascara, both Mecca Max Wink Ink products. I like both of these. They are great. I need a better mirror. Another tip that I would give in relation to finding what type of project pan works for you is to watch other project panners and try out different methods. So, you know, you don't necessarily have to do a year-long project pan. You don't have to do a full face. The way that I found out the perfect method of panning for me was by watching other people and getting sort of like a sort of baseline of how project panning should be done, like general rules of project panning. And then I broke those rules. I twisted them, I turned them, I like put them backwards, and I played around and I found the method that works for me. There's no like hard and fast rule to what project panning is. Project panning should always be, you know, adapted to the person who is doing the project pan. because that is what's going to lead to it being successful. And this is where you might find that doing a traditional project pan, like working on a product until it's finished, it simply might not be for you. It might be better for you to focus on certain products for a month, or it might be better for you to do like 30 uses of a blush or 20 uses of a blush, or you might want to focus on hitting pan on a bronzer before you move on to another one to hit pan on, and then once you've hit pan on all of your bronzers, you might want to go back and start again and pan the bronzers that have pan in them. I'm just going back into Burgundy ×9. I'm taking that shade that I put in my outer corner on a little brush, and I'm just going to put it under here for a little bit of shadow, not too much. I've got those small eyes, I don't want to close them off. But I do need to bring some shadow back in there because I blanked it all out with foundation and concealer. Brows. This is a Shape and Shade brow tint from MAC. It's in the shade Fling. I'm going to use this to do my brows. But first, I'm going to wipe off the excess because I've had it sitting upside down. Because if I don't have it sitting upside down, it won't even do like 2 brows. Try to focus on me, camera. So yeah, I have to have it sitting upside down, but if I do, it floods the tip, and then when I go to put it in my brows for the first time, it's a bad time. And another thing that you can do with project panning that will help you to get more use out of products and likely move through them quicker is like multi-purposing your products. So let's say you have a highlighter that is too dark for you. For example, the guy in here with, what's it called? Rose Gold. So Rose Gold, this one, is too dark for me. Moonstone is fine. I can wear it on its own. But if I mix these two together, I get a really beautiful highlight that doesn't look too dark. And again, I've got this guy, which is Topaz, way too dark for me. Cannot wear it on its own. But if I mix it in with Wild Honey, it just gives me a nice soft bronze. And it's not too shimmery, but it sort of makes Wild Honey a little bit more glowy rather than super matte on my dry skin. So multi-purpose your products, mix them. A lot of people like to use eyeshadows as blushes. I'm not really about that life, but you know, if you like doing that, good. I also like to take foundations that might be too matte and mix them with something that's too dewy, or I might like to take something that doesn't have enough coverage and mix it with something that has way too much coverage. I might like to mix a concealer into a foundation to give it more coverage. These sorts of tips can often help you to take something that you might not otherwise use and turn it into something that can sometimes be an amazing product. I'm going to go back into this palette. I'm going to take some of Moonstone and I'm going to pop it on my inner corner. Okay, lips. This is a Colourpop Lippie pencil in Bbia. And the Rimmel Nude in Boho Nude. And last, but certainly not least, I have my setting spray. I swear, there can't be anything left in this. It feels like there's nothing in there, but it keeps going. Just keeps going. See? Where is this stuff coming from? Oh, it's getting close. I know it is. Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Great mister. Terrible if you have oily skin. Like, don't even go there. If you've got dry or normal skin, have at it. But yeah, don't go there if you've got oily skin, because it won't do you any favors. But that essentially is a full face of my project pan makeup. It's simple, it's to the point. If I wanted to, I would put on a pair of demi lashes, which I think I will because I'm gonna film another video after this. This is why I love doing a full face of Project Pan products, because every time I sit down to do my makeup, I don't even have to think about it. I can just chuck it on. It's super quick. It's always the quickest way for me to do my makeup. I know it works for me. I'm happy with the results at the end of the day. And yeah, I'm getting through products and I enjoy everything that I'm using. So what can I say? It's a good time. All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap that up there. Feel free to leave your comments down below about the type of project panning that you do, and maybe the types of project pans that you've tried in the past and how you sort of adapted it to get to where you are today. And also let me know, do you love the way you project pan, or are you still sort of figuring it out? I found for me it took a long time, but that's probably because I always did year-long project pans and I tried to stick with them as much as I could, and then the next year I would sort of change it up a little bit to adapt it better to myself. So I think it's better to try out smaller ones if you are just getting into project panning. Anyway, guys, leave your comments down below. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.